Alright, what you got for me, Nintendo? Ooh, wait, a new Metroid title? What could this be? Oh, wait. Federation Force? What is this? How is it, how could they ruin Metroid? They ruined my favorite video game. How they even shake me like a morphing ball? I never saw a girl do that before. Don't quite notice how she got that small. All she ever does is wreck things. Wow! An episode of VinSense about just a video game? What is this madness? Well, fellow nerds and nerdesses, I can explain everything. Metroid? No, that was last month. Okay, let me level with you guys real quick. It's no small secret that I'm a huge fan of the Metroid series. I know, usually I enjoy lighthearted games about hedgehogs and princesses and other cliches, but sometimes it's just fun to pick up a game that's a little more serious. At least that's the excuse I used when I got into Super Metroid a few years ago, and believe me, it was an amazing experience. So much so that ever since I've been a big fan of the Metroid series. But recently, an unfortunate turn of events has left some people wondering if perhaps the Metroid series is doomed for the same misfortunes that hit franchises like Mario and Sonic with last year's E3 announcement of Metroid Prime Federation Force. Being the first Metroid game since Other M, expectations for the return of this beloved series were pretty high. But what we got instead was a generic first-person shooter game with the Metroid title slapped on. This announcement left many fans of the Metroid series devastated, as is made clear by the number of dislikes on the video. In fact, some people were so upset that it even led to a petition on change.org to cancel the game. It seems crazy, but honestly, can you blame them? Nintendo seems to be completely ignoring their fans, putting Halo-style gameplay in a game as great as Metroid? What is the big end thinking? But what if I told you that this decision, while certainly devastating, isn't completely senseless? I mean, Nintendo's a big business, you'd think that they have a reason for doing this, right? But what could it be? Naturally, being a fan of the Metroid series myself, I couldn't stop thinking about this recent turn of events. And as I did, I suddenly came to a shocking conclusion that not only does Nintendo know what they're doing, but we should have seen this game coming all along. That's right, today on VinSense, I'm coming on to give you my theory. My Vin theory. I don't know, it's hard being a GT ripoff, guys. And for those of you who are devastated by my own change of focus, well, what do you expect? The show's called VinSense. Isn't that enough to make it clear that the show's about things I happen to be interested in? No? Fine. Now, without further ado, welcome fellow nerds and nurses to Homeschool Nerds VinSense, where today we're going 100% all the way and talking some game design. So the original Metroid game came at an interesting time in the history of video games. The world had just been graced with Nintendo's first home entertainment console, the NES, as well as games which would be remembered for years to come like Super Mario Bros., Legend of Zelda, and other influential titles. But one that stood out from those was Metroid. In a world of lighthearted Mario and Pac-Mans, this game was dark and took its story seriously. The original Metroid title was unlike anything people had really seen at the time. So what did the game get right when it established the Metroid formula? Well, starting out, Metroid followed the example of Mario and Zelda in the sense that it didn't explain the game or what you were supposed to be doing. The game completely relies on you to figure it out. Now, while that wouldn't work by modern standards, it actually worked pretty well for the game. So say I've played Mario and Zelda and I'm getting into Metroid. I'm excited, let's do this. So assuming I'm not a total idiot like modern developers seem to think I am, I'm looking at you, Sonic Generation. Seriously, I do not need to know how to move. You just move the control stick. So immediately starting out, the game appears like a 2D platformer. So let's try heading to the right like you would do in a normal platformer like Mario or Mega Man. As you can see, doing this goes alright until you get to this wall. Notice that when you get there, this enemy is placed right here, allowing you to immediately see that you can in fact get to the wall, but you're too big. So cutting back to the left, all you find past the starting point is an area with some enemies and a shiny looking object. Stepping on it, plays some epic music giving you the idea that you did something good, but you have no idea what it does. No text, no explanation, nothing. But wait, what about that hole in the bottom of the wall? Maybe this is something you needed to be able to get under there or something. Whoa! She just turned to a ball. That totally just happened. So as you can see, the game does a pretty decent job for naming its title at letting you know what's going on. I mean, there are plenty of moments where you have no idea what to do, and there are going to be plenty of times when you first play through where you try to go to certain areas only to find that you don't have the right item yet. But let's just fast forward to the Super Nintendo installment of the game, Super Metroid. This game is a legend. It's one of the classic titles game design experts always look back to with admiration. So what exactly did this game do so great? Well, first off, I would like to say that if you haven't played this game, go do it. Now, I'm about to spoil one of the greatest openings in a game ever, so if you haven't played the beginning yet, go do it. I'll be waiting. Alright, now with that warning out of the way, we can get to the opening of Super Metroid. This game is huge and complicated. By the end of the game, you'll have tons of weapons, items, and have gotten through some of the biggest challenges in video games. So how do you introduce such a huge game in a way that won't confuse players? Well, first thing the game does is take care of the backstory. Events of the first two games, I skipped Metroid 2 for time constraints, are all completely explained by Samus' blog theme. The last Metroid is being studied by some scientists in a space station, and Samus has just gone off to hunt a new bounty. When she gets a distress signal from the space station, so she rushes over there pronto. And that's literally all the narrative you get for this game. The rest of it is exploring with minimal instruction on how to use items. So starting out the gameplay, you start out at the entrance of the space station. Given the eerie feel of the game, chances are you're going to start a little bit hesitant as you have no idea what's going on. But doors open up and you don't see anything. It seems like the entire facility is empty. Now notice how this area here is set up. You're forced to jump over this object right here, so the game lets you figure out the first bit of action in a stress-free environment. Oh, and is it getting a little too laid back for a Metroid game? Let's throw in some dead scientists. Yeah, that's got your heart working. So now you're probably scared. You're not out getting pretty close to whatever killed all these dudes, so you're probably going to try to make sure you have your weapon figured out before you head into the— whoa, it's the Metroid. Should've, wait, what, wait, whoa, that is a dragon. Just look at this. The game has given you no enemies so far, and now it's throwing its first boss at you? This game is insane. Be sure to write that down in your notebook, kids, because you're gonna want to remember it. As you play the game time and time again, you'll be thrown into situations in which you immediately have to react or get dead. Dying's not that bad. So anyway, after beating Ridley, the dragon's name is Ridley by the way, this message comes up on your screen saying that the whole space station is going to self-destruct and you've got to get out of there. No doubt, once you get out of here, you'll be so pumped you'll be ready for anything. And the genius doesn't stop there. The rest of the game is crafted so well that you're able to figure out what to do all by yourself without any tutorial or instruction. It's awesome! Now the game's certainly not perfect by any means. No game this big is going to be, but a big problem with the Metroid series has always been backtracking. Remember when I said that the thing about how the original Metroid game, you'll sometimes end up somewhere where you're not ready for and will have to go back to the way you came? Well, that exists in this game too, only it's not always clear when and where you have to backtrack to. Look at this area here. Consider this your home base for half the game. You go down some more, go get an ice beam, go up, get some more, get some super missiles, go back down, go down some more, fight Craig, get a new suit, go to a hot place, fight a boss, get a grappling hook, swing up, go up some more, grapple your way to the sunken ship, fight a lot of ghosts, fight boss ghosts, get item, dive in lava, fight Ridley, and finally make yourself all the way up to do more things. Seriously, as much as I love this game, this is a big issue which is almost a necessity for the way of the series. It's not a completely bad thing, figuring out where to go is half the fun, but unfortunately a lot of people just didn't find it fun as made clear by the sales of the games. Now there have always been some big fans of the Metroid series, but compared to games like Mario and Zelda, Metroid just can't compete. Because unlike Mario, Zelda, and games like that, Metroid doesn't have the same level of mass appeal. Navi may be annoying, but without her, 70% of players couldn't make it through the game. And say what you want about Mario's simple formula, it's one of the few games that anyone can pick up and play and have fun. Metroid just isn't that kind of game. But what if Nintendo's trying to make it that way? I know, terrifying thought. But look at the fourth installment of the Metroid series, ignoring all of the Metroid Prime games, Metroid Fusion. This game was a return to the 2D action platformer style and was similar to all the others, except in one case. This round through, you're not completely alone. In order to help Samus out on her mission, the Federation is sent along a computer companion to tell her literally everywhere she needs to go. Samus complains about the new boss in the diary, but honestly, that doesn't really change the fact that he doesn't really need to be there. Instead of the game forcing you to go where you need to go, the game forces you to go where you need to go, and also tells you exactly what you're doing. The game turns into this go where you're told, do a thing, come back for more orders type of thing. But credit where it's due, it did completely eliminate backtracking by instead having a hub world linked to different world type environment stimulations on the ship. It certainly works for the particular rendition of the story, but honestly, it's not near as genius as the way Super Metroid got you to go where you need to go. But one thing that Metroid Fusion was able to pull off was the mass appeal it needed. Unlike Super Metroid, anyone can pick up the game and figure out what to do because it tells you everything you need to know. Make sure you can't go elsewhere. But Metroid Fusion also lost what made the original game so great, Samus. You see, Samus Aran has always been a strong individual. Her backstory in and of itself is inspiring as shown by Metroid Fusion, but her actions in and of themselves are enough to impress even the manliest of men. Here she is all alone in a deadly world with giant dragons and brains trying to destroy her, and in games like Super Metroid, that's the character you embody. The game makes you feel alone, feel feel the hopelessness of situations, feel a sense of victory as you go to survive against all odds because you're alone. Literally, the one thing that people don't get about the series is the one thing that people who do love it for. But as I think Metroid Fusion showed, this isn't enough for games anymore. Appeal to the masses means more than just how special a series like this is. So my question is, could this be the same thing that's happening to Metroid Prime? I mean, first-person shooters like this are big, but not like the original Metroid Prime games. The original Prime games stayed true to form by keeping Samus alone, leaving explanations to the minimum and keeping the dark sci-fi story intact. But most fans of the first-person sci-fi shooters don't want long, tedious puzzles. They want gun people in the head till you win combat with multiplayer. And it looks like that's what we might be getting with Federation Force. As much as I hate to say it, I'm afraid gaming's first woman may be getting the boot from her own series, instead replaced with an emotionally unstable, annoying girl who teams up with some other power suit enabled characters to go shoot some stuff. Honestly, in my mind, it's the saddest thing that could have happened this series. Mario may have a ton of spin-offs, yes, but it's still Mario. And you can make your case about Ocarina of Time or Skyward Sword, but at least those games still stayed true to the formula of the character of Link. He's still a defenseless kid who goes on an adventure and becomes the hero of Hyrule. But maybe there's still hope for Samus. While I doubt Nintendo will grant Change.org's petition and cancel Federation Force, I can't help but think that maybe they're still going to come around. After all, look at Zelda U. For the first time since the original game, we're finally getting a Zelda title with an open world. Why? Because gamers are ready for a change. Sure, Call of Duty and Halo are still just as popular as ever among the kids, but just look at successful indie titles like Shovel Knight, Undertale, and the upcoming Yooka-Laylee. Titles that harken back to the days when games were simpler, but at the same time deeper than any AAA title nowadays could ever be. We as gamers are ready for challenges, we're ready for a change, and we're so ready for a real Metroid game. Seriously, it's been so long Nintendo, I would literally pre-order tonight if I could. But at the end of the day, while we may be stuck with Other M and Federation Force for now, I can't help but think that someday we'll see Samus Aran jump back into action stronger than ever before. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory ripoff that I call VinSense. Thanks for watching. Now, let's see how I do here. Oh, come on, Samus! How much could I have possibly missed? Ah, forget it. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video, it really means a lot. It took a lot of work to put together, but hey, it was a work of passion. Seriously, I've been playing this video for over a year now, so I'm excited to finally have it done. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave it a thumbs up to help me feel better about the hours I pour into these videos. And be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Federation Force is gonna be dumb? I mean, most people do, but who knows, maybe Nintendo has some kind of surprise in store for us. And also, what about this new Zelda Breath of the Wild game that's coming out this next year? Is that gonna be awesome or what? You guys think the game's gonna do a good enough job helping you figure out what to do without actually using a guide character for once? Because that would be pretty awesome. Also, if you'd like to see more VinSense, be sure to click this box here on screen. And if you're not already, you should subscribe to Homeschooled Nerd to see more awesome videos every single week. Plus, it kind of helps me sleep at night. Anywho, that's it for me. Take it easy, guys. Homeschooled Nerd, signing out.